On today's Tech Help for Churches, creating an email campaign in MailChimp. Hi, and welcome again to another episode of Tech Help for Churches. This is the show where every week I help you use the internet, the web, new media, social media, etc. in your church. My name is Paul Allen Clifford. I'm your host. I'd love for you to join the conversation, by the way. So just ask your question below the video. If you're not listening to the video, if you're listening to the audio, that's fine too. Paul at trinitydigitalmedia.com or Paul Allen Cliff on Twitter. PaulAlanClif. Either way is perfectly fine. Or head on over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact. There you can find all my contact information. And any of those work perfectly fine as well. So I thought, we've dealt with a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure that I actually showed you how to write an email newsletter. So let's head on over to my computer and we'll do just that right now. So here we are over in MailChimp, and what I want to do, basically I logged in, clicked on campaigns, and clicked on create campaign, okay? And that took me to this page. I could have also, for the campaigns that I've already created, I could have gone over to the right and there's a down arrow where I could replicate the campaign, and that's what I normally do. But I thought, I've shown you how to do everything, but I haven't shown you how to create one from scratch. So that's what we're doing today. This is the screen you need to decide from. Now, it's possible that you're going to have one less choice than this. The A-B split campaign is a campaign where you change one piece of information, and other than that, it's identical, and you send that to, say, 10% of your list gets one version, 10% gets the other, and then whoever opens more or clicks more or whatever, that version gets sent to the other 80%. You're probably not going to have that. I've had this account for eons, so I have some extra choices that you wouldn't necessarily get if you're just a beginner. So let's talk about these other campaigns. First off, let's talk about an RSS-driven campaign. An RSS-driven campaign is created using something called really simple syndication or rich site survey. I haven't really found a definitive answer to which it means, but that's what RSS means. And it's basically a shopping list that a lot of websites, not everyone, but a good majority of them make. And that just basically says everything that's on the site. So whenever there's a change, it gets the new information. That's basically what it is. And what you would use it for is if you wanted to automatically, every time something changed on your website, send out a campaign or send it out once a week with whatever changes, etc., then you could do this. You're probably not going to be doing that with your church. Plain text campaigns are just what they say, plain text. The advantage of these is they're very deliverable. Almost everyone is going to get that because it doesn't have very much text in it. It doesn't have a whole lot of, it does have text, but it doesn't have images and other things. So everyone would be able to get this and read it. The problem is, you'll notice how it says it has no pictures or formatting. No pictures also means no tracking pixels. So you can't tell if people read this or anything like that. So I usually steer clear of that. Now we have the regular old campaign. This is your winner. This is what you're going to use most of the time. But here in just a second, I'm going to show you a mistake that a lot of churches and businesses, quite frankly, make. Now here we're going to select our list. Let me select my main list here, and I can send it to the entire list. A saved segment, remember I showed you how to create segments. Send it to a new segment, or paste and copy emails to build a segment. In this case, I'm going to choose my entire list. I'll go down here to the lower right hand corner and select next. Now that's going to get me into the setup. So what I need to do is have a name for the campaign. Now this can be anything, but it should be something that I can remember which is which. Because if you send these out weekly or monthly, you might be curious, oh, what was newsletter number 12 about? I can't remember, so you'll have to open it up. It would be better if you could create it with a name that will help you remember. I usually do something like this, 1303, and today's date, which is the 16th. So, wait, it's not 13, it's 15. I'm older than I thought. Okay, so 2015-03-16, and the reason I do this is it groups it by year by putting it first, so I don't have all the Marches together. I've got all the 2015s together, and then March, and then the date. So I do that, and then I'll give it a name that works. Let's see, test campaign for tech help for churches. Now I need an email subject. This is the subject that the people are going to actually read. So you need it to be something catchy, something germane, something that's appropriate. So you wouldn't want to necessarily put in something spammy, you know, nothing about Nigerian princes or a certain kind of medication that's blue. Nothing like that. So what you might want to do is a word from the pastor, if that's what this is. The from name, this is the name that it's being sent from. You'll notice it's my name, and email address, and that's my email address. Now, we've got some choices here as well. On the side, this is not a paid account, so we're not going to use conversions to manage replies. Personalize the to field. You can use this right here, and remember how we had the people sign up using their first name? This is a variable that anywhere you put that, their first name is going to show up. So that's very fun. Makes it a little more personal. So track opens, I would definitely tell you to do that. Track clicks, it's required, but I would do it even if it wasn't required. Track plain text clicks, again, I would do it even if it wasn't required. You can, if you've got Google Analytics, you could add that in, and some of these other tracking. You can post it to your Twitter, that's what this is on the left. On the right, you can post it to Facebook. You can convert video files so that they're much more likely to show up. And do this authenticate campaign, because that's going to make it better. Now we're going to click next. And now we have some choices. These are designs. Now, what a lot of you will be tempted to do is go into themes and find something really whiz-bang and cool looking. I suggest you don't do that. And here's the reason that I suggest that. Google has gotten to the point where with their priority inbox, they're looking for something with a lot of images in it. Because typically, you know, if I'm sending you an email directly because we're buddies, I'm not going to send more than maybe one, maybe two images in it. But normally it's going to be very few. Whereas a lot of email campaigns use a lot of images. So what I have done is I started with one of these themes, just something really basic. But I actually went in and I coded my own. So I can paste the code in, import it from a zip, import it from a URL. If we go here, you'll notice we can actually see some of the older ones that I've used. This one down here. This is one that I did way back when. You'll see that this was before Google made the change, so I've got all kinds of stuff in here. This is something somewhat cleaner, but what I've actually done is gone for this super basic theme, and that's what I'm going to select here. And this doesn't include any images other than the MailChimp logo in the bottom, basically. So that's something that I think is a little bit more reliable. So what we do is we can click in this window here and then type, etc. So it's pretty much like doing an email. I can click this little I with the slash in it to make things go away, and I often do that. And you're going to want to leave this footer in here because that's got some legal stuff in it, how to unsubscribe, things like that. But once you get that all written, you'll notice this isn't a PDF, by the way. This is plain text, so they can read it in their email as opposed to reading it somewhere else. So we'll click Save and Close. And then we'll go to Next. This is going to say, okay, do you want to confirm? Just double check this stuff. Which list are you sending it to? What's your subject line? Who is it? Are the replies going to, and what name? Tracking, the HTML email, the plain text email, because it will fall back to a plain text if someone has said, no, I want the plain text. So this way you get kind of the best of both worlds, email authentication and monkey rewards. You want all that, and then you have a couple of choices. If you click send, it will send it right then and there. If you click schedule, which is what I do, I write my emails ahead of time, and then I did some testing to figure out when was the best time, and it seems to me that Monday at 9 a.m., for example, would be a good time to send it. Now, I'm not actually going to click schedule this campaign, but if I did, that's it. No matter when this gets written, as long as I've got it scheduled after that time, it will do it. Now, let's say that I made a mistake, and let's do this for Friday. Actually, Sunday at 9 a.m., okay? So, March 15th at 9 a.m., I'm actually recording this particular part. Sunday, you'll see, please schedule your campaign for a time in the future because time travel is still hard. So they're kind of fun with their funny messages. I'm going to click save and exit and get out of this, but that is basically just how you send an email. It's very straightforward, and I hope that you'll use that in how you schedule the campaigns for your church email newsletter. Well, I hope that helped you. If it did, by all means, subscribe to my email newsletter. Just head on over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/gifts. That's Trinity, like the Holy Trinity, digital, like ones and zeros, media, like media.com/gifts, GIFTS. You can pick out a gift of your choice, and once you've done that, you can get a free subscription to my email newsletter, which I send out generally on Mondays at 9 a.m. How strange is that? So I hope that helped you and your church go out and change eternity. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.